Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Out of Office Energy. If this is your first time listening, I'm so glad you're here. And if you joined us after episode one, honestly, thank you for coming back. We really appreciate it. In our last episode, we talked a lot about leadership, respect, and culture in travel and network marketing. And after that conversation, there's a really natural question that comes up. It's the question almost everyone asks at the beginning. Okay, but where do I fit? And honestly, I love that question because it tells me you're not just listening, you're thinking, you're considering, and you're seeing the potential. Today's episode is for anyone who's new, anyone who's curious, anyone who loves travel or loves the idea of travel and wants to explore what this business could look like, even if you don't feel confident yet. And Charlotte's here with me today because we really want you to hear two perspectives, two different entry points, and two different journeys.
Hi everyone.
So let's just get straight into it. I want to start by being really honest. When I first started, I didn't feel ready at all. I didn't have everything figured out. I didn't feel confident all the time. And I definitely didn't wake up thinking, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. What I did have was interest, curiosity, and a willingness to learn. And that's something I want to say really clearly. You don't need confidence to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's this idea that you have to be confident first and then you start. But confidence usually comes after you start. And I can remember thinking, what if I mess this up? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I don't know the answers? What if someone asks me a question and I don't know what to say? And what if I look silly? And Charlotte, I don't know if you can relate, but I thought everyone else was way more ready than I was.
Yes. And that's the worst part when you start because everyone looks like they've got it together.
Exactly, but here's what's funny, most people who look confident are just people who started earlier, that's it. They were beginners too. They just didn't stay stuck in the head. So if you're listening and thinking, I don't know if I belong, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, I'm not confident like them, I want you to know that doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means you're at the beginning. Most people don't talk enough about the in between phase, the part where you're not brand new anymore, but you're also not fully confident yet.
That stage is so real.
It's like you've learned some things, you've watched training, you understand the basics, but you still hesitate before posting. You still double check everything, you still second guess yourself.
Yes. And it's like you know enough to realise how much you don't know.
Exactly, and it can be uncomfortable. You might compare yourself to other people who seem further along. You might think they're better at speaking, they're better at selling, they're better at content, and they're better at travel knowledge. But I want to say something that changed my mindset. The in between stage is not where you fail, it's where you're being built.
Yep, I hear you.
Because when you're in between, you're learning how to be consistent even when your emotions are up and down. You're learning how to show up even when you're not like it's not exciting. And let's be honest, the beginning's rarely glamorous.
Not at all. It's so quiet.
Yeah, it is quiet, and people underestimate quiet progress. I think we think success looks loud, but in the beginning, success looks like sending the message you were scared to send, posting once even though you overthought it, attending training even though you felt behind, asking a question you thought was stupid, learning one new travel supplier, and practicing one new script. That's growth. Let's talk about why beginners are valuable.
Yes, please. Because I think people forget this.
Beginners bring something really important into the industry, fresh perspective. You remember what it feels like to be new. You ask honest questions, you relate to other beginners, and I'll be honest, sometimes leaders who are further ahead forget what it felt like when they first started.
Yes, that's so true.
And beginners actually create the most relatable content because if you're new and you say, hey, I'm learning how to book travel and I'm excited and nervous, people connect with that.
Right, because it feels real.
Exactly. Being new isn't a weakness, it's a season, and seasons change. And I think this is where hearing different perspectives really matter. Charlotte and I didn't start the exact same way, and I love that about our partnership. So, Charlotte, I want to bring you into this. What would you say to someone who loves travel or loves the idea of this business but doesn't feel ready yet?
When you asked me that question, it honestly made me smile because I remember exactly how I felt when I started. I didn't feel ready, I didn't feel confident, and I definitely didn't feel like I knew what I was doing because I didn't. At the time, I was just a mum of four, trying to manage everyday life, the school runs, appointments, family routines, while feeling like something wasn't quite working. And I think that's important for people to hear because sometimes people assume that you have to be a certain type of person to do this.
100%, like, you need to already be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But when I started, everything felt new. I was learning while doing it, watching the training videos, asking the questions, taking things one step at a time. And I remember comparing myself to people who I seemed so confident already and thinking I was behind.
I feel like comparison is the biggest confidence killer.
It is. But over time, I realised everyone starts in the same place. It just doesn't always look like it. There's a stage in this business that's really quiet. You're showing up, you're learning, you're trying, but you're not fully confident yet. It's not exciting, it's not glamorous, but it's necessary. That stage isn't failure, it's foundation.
I love how you said that because most people quit in the foundation stage.
Exactly. I didn't change overnight, but the more I showed up, the more confidence slowly built. But the more I showed up, the more my confidence slowly built. I stopped putting pressure on myself to know everything and focused on improving a little at a time. And that's when things started to feel different, not just in the business, but personally too.
That part is so important because people think confidence is just business confidence, but it spills into every part of your life.
It really does. So if you're listening and thinking, I like the idea, but I don't feel ready. I'm interested, but I don't know enough. I don't think I'm confident enough for this. That's okay. You're not meant to have it all figured out at the beginning. You don't need experience, you don't need confidence, you just need patience and support.
And I feel like support is the piece people miss because you shouldn't be doing this alone.
Yes, and if you're in the right environment, you're never alone. You don't find your place before you start. You find it by starting, by learning, growing, asking questions, and giving yourself time. This business isn't about being perfect, it's about consistency. So if you're unsure, nervous, or quietly curious, you're not behind. You're exactly where most people begin, and that's more than enough.
So, Charlotte, can we do something really quick?
Oh, go on then.
So, let's do a little beginner rapid fire because I know people listening are thinking things but not saying them out loud.
Yes, let's do it.
Right, first one. What if I don't know enough about travel?
Then that's perfect. You'll learn. No one starts knowing everything. Training exists for a reason.
Next one. What if no one wants to buy from me?
They will, but only if you allow yourself to be seen.
Exactly. So, what if my friends judge me?
Some people might, but the right people will cheer for you, and eventually people respect consistency.
And last one. What if I try and fail?
Then you'll be further ahead than the person who never tried. Failure in this business is usually just quitting too early.
That's so real. So, Charlotte, thank you for sharing that. I think what's really clear from this conversation is that nobody starts feeling fully ready, and that's absolutely fine. Finding your place in travel and network marketing isn't about having confidence on day one, it's about being willing to grow into it. If you're listening and you're new, unsure, or just exploring, there is space for you here. We're building this business and this podcast the same way, with patience, with respect, and with people at the centre.
And you don't have to be confident today. You just have to be curious enough to start.
Exactly that. So thank you so much for listening. I just want to say when people say you can't do this around your kids, you absolutely can. We've made this podcast today whilst our girls sit and play together, and that's probably who you can hear in the background. But this is our real life, and we want you to hear that. We've made these podcasts to be real with you guys. So again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.